Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Should You Play, the series where I talk about video games from the perspective of a busy lifestyle. Personally, I have a full-time job, and family, and little time to play video games, so I sacrifice sleep, stay up late at night to get my gaming sessions in. Two questions that I have for you today is Dispatch. Is it worth your time, and should you play it? In the video game Dispatch, you play as a superhero named Robert Robertson, also known as Mecha Man. During a big fight, his powerful robot suit gets totally destroyed. Because he is now broke and cannot fix his suit, he has to take a normal office job. Instead of fighting bad guys in the streets, he sits behind a desk as a dispatcher. His new job is to manage a team of former supervillains who are trying to become good guys. You have to talk to these crazy characters, answer emergency calls on a city map, and decide which hero to send and where to stop each crime. Now, we need to talk about the positives of the game. Oh, excuse me. There are a lot of great things about this game, actually. The first is the story. The characters are super funny, and it really just kind of feels like an animated TV show the whole time you're playing. The game has an amazing voice acting from famous people of characters that actually kind of make them feel like real characters and not robotic. A couple, YouTubers or content creators you might know, Jacksepticeye and Moist Critical, actually make an appearance as a couple of the characters. That's kind of a cool part of the game, I think. The story really had me intrigued though, because it's just a pure narrative adventure. Pure narrative adventure. Oh, excuse me, trying to record all these videos and read my script. It's hard sometimes. But yeah, so it's a pure narrative adventure with very little gameplay. So that might be a turnoff for some people, but honestly, playing it wasn't for me. I absolutely could look past that because of the storyline itself. Speaking of the gameplay, it is really fun, like the gameplay that it has, to choose which heroes to send out kind of into the city. You're kind of picking and choosing which characters to kind of partner up together to go solve calls and to go, fix different parts of the map, things like that. So it is kind of nice to see their interactions and the dialogue between the characters, and you kind of have to match their skills and moods so it kind of evens out and you kind of get your high success rate on your each mission. Every choice that you make in the office or during a mission, can change how the characters feel about you, but also it can affect storyline as well, which makes the game actually able to play more than once for that reason. There's a couple, after I beat it, there's a couple scenarios where I don't want to spoil anything, but you basically get to choose between, two characters, and you do that a couple times throughout the game at different points for different reasons. So I want to go back to kind of see if I choose the other character, what changed. Now I do feel like a lot of the narrative beats are going to stay the same, but interactions will be different. Character dialogue will be different because then I won't have that previous character anymore. I'll have a new character, right? So I really want to go through it a second time just to figure out what is different and kind of how the story plays out differently. Maybe it's a romance option. Maybe it's, I keep one character over the other, that type of thing, right? So I'm not really one to go do multiple playthroughs of the game because in my opinion, or like how I feel, once you beat a game, you just know the story, right? You know what's going to happen. There's not a surprise to it. So I really don't do multiple playthroughs of games. Dispatch is a little bit different in that regard because the choices that you make can actually change the game significantly, based on the choice that you make. So I want to see how it's going to be different if I do the opposite part of that, or I'd be mean rather than nice, that type of thing. So we talked about a lot of the positives. The game's not perfect, so here are some negatives that we need to talk about. The lack of gameplay that I mentioned earlier may be a negative to some because it does just truly feel like you're watching an interactive TV show. If that's not for you, if you don't like the game, I'm playing a video game, I want to play a video game. I get it. You're not wrong. It is a video game. I understand that. Other than the simulator where you're kind of matching heroes to go out on different calls. There is a computer hacking puzzle that pops up from time to time that gets harder as the game goes on. There's more levels to the game. Now, overall, it's not super hard. It's more tedious than anything. Sometimes those puzzles, not that they don't feel out of place, they can kind of feel boring at times. Like, oh, I got to go through one of these real quick. Or it kind of slows down some of the action parts of the game because as you play it, there'll be moments where a big dramatic scene happens, you have to save someone, or you have to help someone, whatever it may be, and then you have to go into this hacking simulator that some of them don't have a timer on it. So even though there's a big action scene happening, you have to do this to either help or save a character, you could take as long as you need to complete this puzzle. It does kind of take away from the importance and from the significance of that moment. So I totally get it. I didn't really think it was that bad personally, but I do want to bring it to your attention that is a negative surrounding the game. The puzzles, again, can be a little boring, but it is what it is. Lastly, another thing that I wanted to bring up, this isn't for everybody, but there's a lot of crude jokes, bad words, bad language in the game. So it's probably not going to be the best for younger players, or if you have family, or if you have, son, daughters, things like that, that it may not be the best choice to play around them. So a little more sensitive audience may not want to play this game around them, or at least put headphones in. My personal experience with the game, I was torn at first because, again, the episodic nature of the game, where you're literally, like I said earlier, watching a TV show, but with some quick time events and gameplay sprinkled in. At first, I wasn't quite sold, but as the interactions with the characters happened, as you kind of built this relationship, as you kind of started to understand each character and their personalities came out, and each episode was a cliffhanger leading into the next one, I was hooked. I was drawn in. I actually liked the dispatching part of it. I wish, as weird as it sounds, I wish they kind of did more of it, It was fun to do that, because here's what happens is once you level up your characters and once you send them out on missions, yes, you need them for like the final mission. I'm not going to ruin anything, but that's the whole point of why you're building them up. But you don't really need them after that. So it's kind of like, why are you leveling them up? Why are you doing these things if you don't really need, them to be leveled up other than just the last mission? So I wish they kind of did more with the dispatching part of it, but maybe in the second game. Right? Now, back to our original question. Should you play Dispatch? Now, upon the release, like I said earlier, the game was released episodically. So there's 8 episodes in totals making up the entire game. They're all out currently. The game will run you about 8 to 9 hours to beat the game on a single run through. If you're not replaying the episodes for whatever reason, the game is about $30 on Steam right now, or it's available on Amazon Luna, which is where I played it. If you have an Amazon Prime account, you have access to a standard version of Amazon Luna, and Dispatch recently came out on that, so I was able to play it through there. Now, on a busy schedule, you could play through the episodes as it does frequently save throughout, but it might be difficult in some situations because of the quick time events, right? So you'll definitely want to, like when you play, you'll definitely want to pay attention to the game because there's quick time events, there's decision choices that you have to make, there's dialogue choices that you have to make that will affect how you interact with the other characters, how the other characters interact with you. So you'll definitely want to pay attention to that. Now, if you like cuss words, if you like inappropriate jokes and, actually great storytelling, this game might actually be for you, right up your alley. My overall recommendation, with all those factors in mind, is it's an absolute play. No excuses when it goes on sale. This game goes on sale at all? No excuses. Even at full price, it's still an absolute play. But I want to hear from you guys. What did you think of the game? What you liked, what you didn't like, what you liked, what you didn't like about the review. Also, let me know if any other game you're interested in seeing here on the channel. Thank you for watching. I hope you hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next one. I appreciate you.